33 devas. Yes, there is the second heaven. There is a second heaven. Yeah, Tavatimsa heaven. So these 33, they could have been good friends in the past. They practiced together and they were born together. So they are like, in Malaysia, we have sultans. Sultans in every state. So in the same way, they have 33 of them. But just as we have the king, so they acknowledge Sakka Deva Raja as the overall king.
That means until the rank for this one is only one rank, and then there is a grade on the deva.
Yeah, all devas they have grades. They have a king. They have a king, and then under the king, they will have smaller rulers. The Buddha says, every area we come to, we have a leader. You can call a Deva Raja. What we call like Dato Kong and all this. They are the king in that area, just like the village headman. Because they differ from each other. It's just like in a country, you may have 2 different races or 3 different races, and because of this difference, they don't agree with each other. This is because of our discriminating mind. So here the asuras and the devas that belong to Sakka Deva Raja, they look a bit different. Character is a bit different.
Look like the Deva world is a different realm, just like a human world.
Yeah.
And in the Deva world, they also like to listen to Dhamma.
Yeah.
Can they practice?
Generally, devas and devis, they cannot practice because it is so pleasurable in heaven. They don't see dukkha. Dukkha is the incentive for us to practice. If there is no dukkha, why should we practice? No, it's only.
Then why do they also interested in the Dhamma?
Because they are intelligent enough when they hear the Dhamma. They're intelligent enough to know that what the Buddha says is true. So the most they can do for most of them is just to listen to the Dhamma.
And get very happy.
No, if they understand, then they. So like Sakka Deva Raja is mentioned later, in fact in the Digha Nikaya, that after he came to see the Buddha and asked the Buddha questions, and the Buddha answered him, that he became a stream enterer. So because like for devas, their mind is quite clear, so when they listen, they can understand more easily. The only thing is like in the Deva realm, there is no monks, there's no Sangha of monks, so because there's no incentive to practice.
That means it's only in human realm that...
Yes, that we can practice. That's why it's mentioned in the Suttas, the Arahants are only found in the human realm. Could be that they did a lot of good deeds, because it's a low heaven. It's a low heaven. Not exactly that they don't have the right view. They must have had worldly right view, because there are 2 types of right view. One is worldly right view, one is Aryan right view. They may not have Aryan right view, but they may have worldly right view, because if you have worldly right view, then your karma is good. You don't harm others, then you can be reborn in heaven. If you don't even have worldly right view, You won't be doing good karma, you won't be reborn in heaven.
So then they have a good holy right view. And then when we go up, we become asura.
Why? Asura is better than a lot of other states of rebirth. They enjoy life. They don't really do evil deeds. Fighting is not evil deed. Yeah, but it's like their lifestyle is like that. That is one interpretation. We also don't know exactly who is Qigong. There's a concept in Chinese, a concept. Because in Chinese culture, when you talk about Qigong, in Chinese culture we cannot explain the different levels of heaven. Unlike the Buddha can explain the different levels. He can identify particular devas. So in Chinese, we just imagine there is some ruler there who rules over the earth and all that. We call him Qigong or Xiongte or something like that. Shangti. We don't really know who it is. It's just a concept. Whereas the Buddha is different. The Buddha has seen, has talked to them. Some sort of what? Suffering. You see, these devas, there are many levels of devas. So the lower levels, because especially in this sensual desire realm, all living beings are dominated by lust. You have male, you have female. So out of there, you have sensual desire. Then when there's desire, there's jealousy. Then there's fighting, you see. But like the form realm, the jhana realms, they don't need outside things to make them happy. The mind itself makes them happy. So they don't have to do anything. They don't have to look for anything to be happy. They just abide in bliss. The happiness comes from within. Whereas for the sensual desire realm, they still want to look for outside things to satisfy their sensual desire. They want beautiful forms, they want beautiful music. That's why a lot of devas, sometimes you meet in the suttas, the devis make beautiful music, better than our Michael Jackson and all this. In fact, there's one sutta in the Digha Nikaya. When Sakka Raja wanted to meet the Buddha, he sent a young deva to go and introduce him first before he actually comes. So this young deva, he was in love with one devi, but the devi don't want him. So he came and played his music and sang to the Buddha and talk about his problem, how he loved this devi, that devi reject him and all this thing. Then finally he introduced Sakka Raja. So Sakka Raja got to know the Buddha and meet the Buddha. And after finishing talking to the Buddha, Sakka Raja was so pleased. He asked the devi to be his wife, that young deva. So you see, they still have problems like in our human world, jealousy and love and all these things. So once you have this, you have that, then you have suffering. Okay. Okay, come and transfer Marin.